This episode is adapted from a clinician-written article on Mentalyc and brought to life in audio for therapists who prefer listening on the go.
I love that. Perfect for my commute.
Right. This piece was written by Sylvie Saxena, MBA, LSW, and we're just really excited to feature their perspective here.
Wonderful. I've seen our work. Really solid stuff.
Totally. And just for some quick context, if you're new to Mentalyc, it's a clinical intelligence platform that supports therapists with documentation and, well, a lot of the things we're about to dive into.
Ah, yes. The stuff that keeps us up at night. You know, it makes me think of that feeling, that palpable silence in a first session. The client is talking, but you can feel them watching you, weighing every nod, every They're deciding right then and there, is this person safe? Can I actually trust them?
Absolutely. It's like an invisible interview is happening, and we're being interviewed for one of the most important jobs in their life at that moment. It's not about our credentials on the wall. It's about, do they believe that we care?
That's the word, care. Because trust isn't just given, is it? It's not like they walk in, sign the consent form, and poof, trust is unlocked. It's earned. It's earned in these tiny, incremental moments.
So tiny, you could almost miss them, like remembering the name of their pet from 3 weeks ago, or the way you acknowledge their courage for just showing up. It's this quiet, consistent process of proving you're reliable, that you're emotionally present.
And that you're not going to rush them. I find myself saying things like, we'll go at your pace, or you don't have to share anything you're not ready to. And you can literally see the tension leave their shoulders. It's like giving them the map and the keys at the same time and saying, you're in the driver's seat, I'm just here to help navigate.
That's so beautifully put. And it's especially critical for our clients with trauma histories, isn't it? For them, trust might feel completely foreign or even dangerous. Their entire history might be a series of relational betrayals. So our therapy room might be the very first place they get to experience what a safe, non-exploitative relationship even feels like.
You're so right. I had a client once who, for the first 6 months, would sit at the very edge of the couch like he was ready to bolt at any second. We barely talked about anything deep. We talked about the weather, his commute, and I just had to trust the process. I had to just keep showing up, being consistent, being predictable. And then, one day, he sat back. He just leaned back into the cushion, and I almost cried.
Oh, Ben, that gives me chills. That's it right there. That's the entire therapeutic process and one tiny, beautiful moment. That shift, it's everything. It's the invisible becoming visible. The trust becomes this felt presence in the room.
It really does. But man, it also makes the stakes feel so high. Because even with all the best intentions in the world, we mess up. We have misattunements. We say the wrong thing. A rupture happened.
They always do. It's inevitable. We're human. A perceived judgment, a misunderstanding, and for some clients, especially those with deep attachment wounds, even a small misstep can feel like a catastrophic betrayal.
Oh, I know that feeling in my gut. That moment when you say something and you see the client just shut down. The light in their eyes just goes out. And your first instinct is defensiveness, right? Oh no, that's not what I meant. But that's the absolute worst thing you can do.
The worst. It just deepens the wound. The responsibility is on us, 100%, to name it, to be the one to lean in and say, hey, I noticed the shift just now. Did something I say not land right for you? It's so vulnerable for us, too.
It's terrifying because you're inviting them to confirm your failure. But when you do it and they respond, that repair process can build more trust than if the rupture had never happened in the first place. It shows them that conflict doesn't have to mean disconnection. that someone will stick around and work through the mess with them.
It's such a powerful piece of modeling, but it requires so much self-reflection on our part. Sometimes we don't even realize a rupture occurred until after the session when we're writing our notes. I've actually found my own process for this has been, well, it's been really enhanced lately. When I'm working on my notes in Mentalyc, I've been using the Alliance Genie feature.
Tell me about that. I've been curious. How does it work in practice?
Well, it's not listening to or storing our sessions or anything like that. It works entirely off the notes I've already created, and it gives me these supervision-like insights. The other day, for instance, I was writing a note, and it kind of flagged a pattern in my language. It highlighted that I might have been using more directive phrasing than collaborative. It was so subtle, I hadn't even noticed it. It just gave me this prompt for reflection, a little nudge to think, could that have felt disempowering to the client? It helped me spot a potential rupture I might have completely missed.
Wow. So it's like a mirror for your own clinical work, held up after the fact, a way to track and strengthen those connections without adding more work. I love that, because that reflection piece is where the real growth happens. For us, as clinicians.
Exactly. And it connects so deeply to the other side of this coin, which is respect. Because trust and respect, they're not the same thing, are they?
Not at all. I think you can trust that a surgeon is competent, but you might not feel respected by them if they have a terrible bedside manner. In therapy, trust without respect can feel patronizing, coercive even. Like the therapist knows best and is just guiding you to their foregone conclusion.
Yes. And respect without trust feels hollow. It's like, I respect your autonomy to make that choice, but I don't trust you'll be okay. It feels superficial. But when you have both, when a client feels both safe and seen, that's where the magic happens. That's the synergy.
That's the therapeutic alchemy. And respect, for me, really boils down to honoring their agency. Remembering always that the client is the expert on their own life. Even when they feel lost and are coming to us for guidance, they are still the expert.
That's such an important mindset shift. We are not there to fix them. We are there to be with them in their struggle, without taking their power away. It shows up in our language, right? The difference between saying, let's do a trauma timeline next week, and asking, would you be open to exploring some of your history, or would that feel like too much right now?
It's a night and day difference. One is a directive, the other is an invitation. One implies you have a plan for them. The other implies you're building a plan with them. That simple shift reinforces that the process is collaborative, rooted in consent.
And it's all part of holding boundaries, which is such a profound form of care. I used to think of boundaries as rigid walls. Now I see them as the banks of a river. They provide the structure that allows the therapeutic work to flow safely. Ending sessions on time, managing dual relationships, handling disclosures with care, it all signals this space is safe, predictable, and focused on you.
I love that metaphor, the banks of a river, because it also stops us from jumping in to rescue them. By not overreaching or reacting impulsively, we respect their ability to swim, even if they're struggling. We're on the bank, ready to offer a hand, but we're not taking over. We're respecting their autonomy.
And a huge piece of that respect, something we can't ever overlook, is cultural responsiveness.
Oh, absolutely non-negotiable. Our clients don't exist in a vacuum. They walk into our rooms shaped by their race, class, gender, sexuality, religion, ability, all of it. And a respectful therapist doesn't just tolerate those identities, they actively seek to understand them.
It's about cultural humility, right? Recognizing we have blind spots. Being open to feedback, especially when we inadvertently cause harm through a microaggression or a clumsy assumption. It's about being willing to say, I'm sorry, I missed that. Can you tell me more so I can understand?
Exactly. It's about co-creating a space that affirms their full humanity, not just the parts we're comfortable with. And just like with trust, when we mess up, because we will, it's our job to notice, take ownership, and open the door for repair. Saying, I think I may have just spoken over something important you were saying. Can we go back? That act of accountability is a profound act of respect.
It really is. It's a lot to hold, isn't it? Tracking the alliance, watching for ruptures, minding our language, holding boundaries, staying culturally aware. It's a constant, dynamic process.
It can feel overwhelming sometimes, trying to be fully present while also running this complex diagnostic and relational analysis in the back of your mind. It's a real balancing act.
Quick pause here. If this part of the work feels familiar, that feeling of juggling it all, Mentalyc can help. Its features like the AI Note Taker and Alliance Genie TM support your documentation and clinical judgment while staying fully HIPAA and SOC2 compliant. You can explore it all at Mentalyc.com.
That's such a needed support. Because when the documentation burden is lighter, you have more brain space for what really matters, the person in front of you. It brings it back to those small, steady choices we make, session after session.
Exactly. Trust and respect aren't built in grand gestures. They're built in the small stuff. Remembering a client's pronouns without being reminded. Following up on an important event they mentioned last week. Validating an emotion without immediately trying to analyze it.
Yes, just letting it be, letting the feeling exist in the room without needing to fix it. Trust is built when we show up on time, every time, when we honor confidentiality fiercely, when we keep our word. Respect is built when we defer to their perspective, even if we see it differently.
And when we never, ever reduce them to a diagnosis, they are not their depression, their anxiety, their trauma. They are a whole person who is experiencing those things. It's why I love asking questions like, what would make you feel safest in our work together?
Oh, that's a great one. Or even, is there anything I could be doing differently to support you better? It opens the door for feedback and reinforces that this is their space. We are working for them. That's a huge power dynamic reversal that builds so much respect.
It really is. And when you think about it, for so many of our clients, therapy might be the first and only relationship in their lives where they are held with this level of intentional trust and profound respect. For anyone who has felt unseen, judged, or violated, that experience can be more than just healing. It can be revolutionary.
It's a form of relational justice, isn't it? It's a corrective emotional experience on the deepest level. We're not just helping them heal their wounds, we're giving them a blueprint for what healthy, safe connection can look like, which they can then take out into the rest of their lives. That's the work. That's the whole point.
That is the whole point. Trust and respect aren't just the foundation. They're the heartbeat of the entire therapeutic process. And it's work that's never truly done. It's something we have to earn and re-earn in every single session.
A constant, beautiful, humbling practice. And it all comes back to showing up, not as the expert who knows best, but as a humble collaborator who is there to listen, learn, and walk alongside. That's the honor of what we get to do.
So well said, Ben. And if you're looking for more support in reflecting on those crucial alliance patterns across your sessions, the Alliance Genie feature inside Mentalyc can really help you do that without ever storing session recordings. It's just a tool for deeper reflection on your own work.